The abstract states, radio frequency identification RFID chips have been used extensively in wildlife ecology and conservation to identify and track individual specimens in a population. It's been unknown, however, how often RFID chips have been implanted in human populations for the tracking and identification of individuals. This study analyzes the prevalence of RFID chip in 3 geographically discrete populations and found that on average, that's populations in the USA, on average 1 in 3 individuals carried an RFID chip. Interestingly, there was a strong correlation with RFID chip presence and prevalent dental work. The populations, 3 discrete human populations defined by geographic location, were assessed for the presence of RFID chips. Populations Midwest containing 958 individuals from Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin. Population Northeast contains 987 from Maine, Rhode Island, and New Jersey. Population Southwest contains 1,010 individuals from Arizona and Nevada. The volunteers were recruited using standard methods and compensated in a manner consistent with industry standards. All test subjects were treated in compliance with the institutional codes of ethics and standards. So they took a random sample of individuals, of volunteered individuals who didn't even know they had RFID chips implanted in them. And throughout the whole of the United States, basically it's about the same. Average 30%, 33% of the population was found to have been implanted without their knowledge of it. The individuals tested were subjected to full body RFID chips scanning using previously detailed protocols of the study. Test subjects were scanned either in the nude or in minimal undergarments to avoid interference. The results showed that in total, 997 RFID positive individuals were identified out of the 2,955 individuals screened. So this corresponds to roughly 1 in 3 individuals screened. There's some figures here if you'd like to, some diagrams if you'd like to see them. Individual frequency by region can be seen in figure 2, it says. It's again, it's almost 1 in 3. Additional tooth fillings were identified as a predominant location for RFID chips. 57% of RFID chips were identified located in the tooth fillings. RFID additional locations and their prevalence can be seen in figure 3. So most people, about 57% over, that's over half of the people that have been found with RFID chips implanted in them without their knowledge or approval, of course, had them placed in their tooth fillings. And in figure 3 of the diagram, it shows RFID chip locations, besides being in the tooth filling, are in the hand, also in the artificial hip, a very large percentage, artificial knee, a very large percentage, implanted screw, maybe if somebody wanted to have a tooth implantation, they have a screw that's implanted into the jawbone. So that's the implanted screw. And implanted birth control, that also has an RFID. What a strange thing in the birth control. So the conclusion states, our work has shown that approximately 1 in 3 individuals in the United States is carrying an RFID microchip. Our sample size was sufficiently large. The number was 2,955 individuals tested and was spread throughout 3 distinct geographic regions of the United States. Thus, we are comfortable extrapolating our finding to the broader American population. So if the population of the United States is over 300 million, that means that over 100 million Americans are chipped already, and they don't even know it. And here they are claiming, "Oh, we're Christians. We're not going to accept the RFID chip." Well, we already have it. Most of us have had fillings. Intriguing, the most frequently identified location, the article goes on to say, for an RFID microchip was in tooth fillings. This is contrary to popular held belief that the RFID chips are inserted in the dorsal of the hand near the thumb, meaning the top of the palm, not the inside of the palm. It's the top. That's not the way they do it. They're hiding it. They're hiding it, and doctors are part of their scheme. More investigation is required to understand the significance of this finding, it goes on to say. So here we are. We have the evidence that most people in the United States have been microchipped without their knowledge or authorization. Now, the next thing we have to do is ask ourselves, why was this done? Why did the physicians, surgeons, dentists, all of them who have taken a Hippocratic oath of Hippocrates, stating that they would always have the mind in mind and their intention, the health of their patient? Why would they do such a thing contrary to their oath, contrary to the laws of the land, and risk the health of their patients? Because these things, of course, can be poisonous. We already know that tooth fillings may be causing may be toxic to their patients and a health hazard. But, all right, we don't know why they did it. They're obviously part of somebody's scheme. The next thing we have to do is go and test ourselves to find out if we do have an RFID implanted in us. And I'm sure that a third of us will find that we do have. Most of us have had fillings. Others have had screws embedded teeth. Okay, so therefore we've had screws put into our jaws. Others have had broken legs and perhaps some kind of a metal implant that has remained there until we pass this phase of our physical existence. We'll be buried with those metal pieces with us in our skeleton. Others have had hip and knee replacements. How are you going to get those microchips out of you? It will be physically impossible for most people to do that. And they've done it without our knowledge. Now, what is on those microchips? What do those microchips contain? We already know that they can alter our moods by electromagnetic pulses being emitted by them. We already know that they can alter our heart rate. We already know that they can alter our mind. They are capable of mind control, besides the fact that people can trace us wherever we are on the face of the earth. And they can also excrete various types of hormones into our system. We've already seen that with the Bill Gates contraceptive microchip that he's going to be testing this year and putting on sale as of 2018. And then last but not least, people have to find out if they have them and go and sue their physicians. Go and sue them. Don't let them get away with this. So I'll leave a link below for you for this article.